Welcome to Crimson Guitars, welcome to the chaos that is me being an absolute numpty. I apologise for being late. I thought that live streaming from headquarters would be good and great, but it is not. It's intensely problematic. Okay, this is episode 104 of Luthiers Question Time with me, Ben Crowe. I am at Crimson headquarters rather than my home studio for a change, just to see what's happening. To see how it works. It is certainly warmer than my home workshop at this current juncture. Also, there's a lot going on. There is a hell of a lot going on, but it's all good. All right, so we've got Lisa Harshberger, Robert R, Garage Master Guitars, Creeverai, Sweetie Guitars, how you doing? And Rob Tootle, Alfred Kane, Angel Song Guitars says howdy y'all. Marshall Levine says drink coffee. That's my problem. I'm a little bit done at the moment on that, but they keep on handing it to me here, and at some point I need to start saying no, and I just don't have the strength to do that, frankly. Yeah, we are all good. We're all good. Lisa Harshberger says they've had an entire month where temperatures never got above freezing. Not her favourite. I absolutely agree. Anyway, E.R. Webster in the building as well. Was this here now? What's this here now? Happy Monday all. I am hoping to do live streams once or twice a week from headquarters where, if I am organised, things can potentially get a little bit more interesting. Yeah, it works in exactly the same way it did as I would from home. Will potentially be a little bit shorter, but we can also pull in other people to chat and see what happens. Genuinely, I am so sorry that I was late. It's official. I am just daft, frankly. Okay, so there we go. My phone is on silent. Okay. Now, news. What news? What news? I don't know. You're here. This is, as standard, if you want to guarantee a question, send through a super chat. If you are just, well, if not, we're just here to chat. I'll see what happens. The whole point of this, however, is to answer your questions about guitar building, etc. Now, the news is we have just started. Shock the Fox is the first person to send through a super chat. A nice surprise on a Monday morning. Ty, how are you? I have been meaning to get in touch with you all weekend, and yeah, I've been going through sort of a 2 or 3 week period where I've actually avoided my phone and all contact with everybody. It's been, and I've realized why. If I'm not creating content, if I'm not making videos, if I'm not getting time behind my workbench, I get absolutely stressed and burnt out. I can do all of the management of the business and the meetings and stuff like I've just had to go through today. I can do all of that as long as I get some workshop time, and I'm sure all of you are in the same space. But when I'm not in the workshop and I'm having to have meetings about, show stands, and we've got a big guitar show coming up in Birmingham in 4 or 5 weeks. I get so damn stressed out and I just shut down and play computer games. But anyway, Ty, your guitar is apparently on the way. We spoke to customs people, and I'm hoping it's here in time for me to do a video about it before the GGBO listings all finish on Saturday. But it's absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited about that. Okay, news. Let's start with some news. I am going all in on YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and things like that. So you're going to start seeing shorter videos coming through on the main channel. Inspired in no small part. Ty, you don't inspire me in the slightest. No, Shock the Fox and watching what Ty does on his Instagram has inspired me to do more of the short form content, and one has literally just gone back. One of them has literally just gone up, that's Luthier edited, just looking at this PRS S2. That's who I was on the phone talking to when I was supposed to be doing the live stream. But yeah, it's cool. And yeah, another question from Lisa Harshberger, who says, did Stefan call back? He did not. Winning both guitars is nuts. I really want the sparkly guitar. The sparkly ones are always the best ones. No, he didn't call back. I think he assumed that it was a spam call or something like that. But yeah, he's very, very, very happy, as you know, anyone would be. I genuinely, okay, so this is great guitar giveaway. We randomly drew for 3 guitars last Wednesday, and out of the 3 guitars, 2 of them were won by one guy, and it was, at first I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was just a similar name, because he'd placed an order on New Year's Eve for tickets in a bunch of guitars, and then he came back a few days before the draw and bought tickets for other guitars, and he won on both of those purchases, which is just mind-blowingly cool. Now, when you actually think about the odds and the fact that there's relatively few people competing, most guitars get 150 or so people buying tickets, some far less than that, and some more, but the odds are currently very, very good on that. But yeah, I tried to phone him during the giveaway live stream, which I don't normally do, and he didn't pick up. But anyway, okay, Paul Cook says, will there be a teardown vid on the Crimson Descendant and a critique of its build quality? What's there to critique? It's delicious. No, but there are going to be, so I've got a plan. If you look at the Triton YouTube channel, probably 5 years ago, I made a video series building a Telecaster style guitar that continues to be one of the higher, that series is continuously in their top 10 videos, basically. Now, that guitar was built for me. I built it for myself. And the story is that I lent it to a CNC company 3 years ago or so. They were doing a big show and they wanted to take a guitar, and I said, well, of course, yeah, borrow this. And I only got it back maybe 6 weeks ago. Not very long ago at all. That guitar, I'm actually sorely tempted to put that on the giveaway site. It's one of my personal guitars, and essentially, when it's one of my personal guitars, I can 100% of everything can go towards buying a guitar for the museum. Now, the big issue is that I don't like the neck. I made a very thin neck, and it's also very D-shaped. It's almost rectangular, and it turns out that I really like chunky necks. So that one will be getting a teardown. You can ask me a sort of 3-4 word question, and I will give you 15 minutes of answer. I apologize. Okay. Queries. Marshall Levine, too broke to send a super chat this week. Absolutely not an issue. Wasn't getting hours at my job, so I've quit and I'm looking for a new position yet again. We are in a strange position where apparently employment is quite high, but that sort of means that bosses can be dicks, and especially in the UK, we've got very, very strict laws on how to deal with staff and staffing and firing and hiring and all that jazz. In some places in many places around the world, that doesn't count, which is just sad. Phil Goki says, "Hey Ben, been a while for me, life, etc." Trust me, I know. Just standing behind a bench is making me happy right now. Cutting fret slots beforehand, planing the radius. bad idea? It seems like it might be, thanks. It is a bad idea, but not for the reasons that you think. Essentially, you've got two things going on. You don't want to cut too much material away from the fretboard and make the neck weak. And if you're cutting into a rectangular board deep enough that at the edges it is deep enough for the fret tang, in the middle the slot is going to be much deeper than it needs to be. So from a functional point of view, don't do it. But it's also from an ease of use point of view. If you are taking a relatively delicate saw with no kerf like these and cutting straight down into a large chunk of rectangular material, it's cutting a lot, and there's a lot of tension and pressure, and it just takes a lot more work. Whereas if you're cutting on a radius, most of what you're cutting is on a relatively small section of the fretboard. So not only do you use the depth stop to only cut as deep as you need, the cut is much easier because you're cutting at the high point of that radius. So yeah, there you go. Gerasimus Bartos says, good evening from Greece. Sounds warm. Marshall Levine loves the corner positioning. It's really, it makes a big difference. So we've done that. It feels a little bit wibbly wobbly. Hold on. There we go. This is camera 3. I think I'm losing power. So here we go. So that's Sophia's workbench, and there you go. In the background you can just see 2 Panormo guitars. I went and picked up my second Panormo the other day. So Sophia's against the corner, and Matt's bench there is at the same angle, and then the guitar giveaway site, same thing. And then this spare bench there is the only one that's up against a wall. But yeah, it seems to work very well. It makes the whole room feel far better. More open. I do kind of want to get rid of those guitars and have a seating area of some sort, but hey, let's see. Micah Noel also just quit his job, so this is the first live stream I've been able to catch in months. Well, I'm sorry for their loss, and I hope you find something better soon. Okay. Bun is on time. He just has his own time zone. That's poor Cook. I am so sorry. Where are you? Yeah, we're talking about losing Beck and Lisa Marie Presley. I saw a meme on. I saw a meme the other day of. Yeah, Death is saying, Lisa Marie Presley. What the hell, is Keith Richards not in this machine? Which made me giggle a little bit. Okay, now queries, questions, comments, and stuff. Big Unit is still having issues with his orders. I'm hoping somebody will come through and I will shout about that. Not shout, I'm not a shouty boss. I'm not one of those guys. But yeah, we'll look into it. I will look into it. We 100% should be on top of all orders at this point. Okay, Jay is tracking your guitars, posted some pictures, some guitar pictures to his Instagram this morning and tagged me on them. I have not been, yeah, I will have a look. There are so many people tagging me on a sort of hourly basis. I just don't have the time to spend looking at all of that. I don't even see it anymore. which is sad, but I will get there. The Ginger Drum Take, hi Ben, question. I'm hoping to start my first guitar build in the next couple of months. Can you recommend a truss rod, acoustic, and do I need tensioning rods? Many thanks, Justin. Misnomer, you need... So the truss rod is the tensioning rod. You're asking about, do you need carbon fiber stiffening rods? I would say need, probably not, but it is better to not need it and have it than need it and have made an entire guitar without it, essentially. So yeah, I would say put in carbon fiber stiffening rods and find a dual action truss rod. I think you are in the UK. Yeah. Sam's coming in. How you doing, Sam?
I'm good. You just totally look like you were talking to the camera there.
I was, and then I saw you and I was like, come on over. Could you ask Ricky to have a look at Big Unit Guitars order? He's sent through an email, but the order is still marked unfulfilled. Big Unit Guitars.
Yeah, okay. That's actually on me, but I did ask Rick to email him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's asking. Ricky should be emailing you by the time this live stream is finished. How's that? Josh, do you want to bring that guitar over here and have a quick chat?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So we are getting more and more repairs in. We've started to actually advertise locally. We've never bothered advertising locally at all, simply because we didn't have enough luthiers to take on repairs and restorations, and we've been turning them down. Nowadays, I'm the other way around. I've got more luthiers than I can shake a stick at, and they tend to bite when you shake sticks at them anyway. And we're taking on more repairs and restorations and interesting things. And some of them turn out to be particularly interesting guitars. Like this here. So we've got a 1967 Gibson ES125 TDC. I'm not sure, what does the TDC stand for?
I don't know, but if you take the D out, it only has one pickup.
Well, there we go. Double.
Maybe.
TCC. What's up, Tom?
Just need this young man.
He needs that young man. So this is the thing.
I don't know cameras on, so I can't slate you.
So this is beautiful. It's not like the 335. This is entirely hollow, kind of like the Hofner very thin, although that seems to be louder than this. Now the story behind this guitar is that the client just inherited this very recently. It's been on the top of a wardrobe for the last 30 years, hardly touched, and she mainly plays acoustic guitars, and she's asked us to give it the old once over. Needed a level crown and polish, and a little bit of setup work, and some cleaning. But that's that, basically. Here we are. Okay, Lisa Harshberger. Did email but never heard about a refund on the wardrobe guitar. Coupons are fine. I want to hit the bathroom plaque. We are working on that, so hence not emailing yet, because we don't know exactly how the payment provider is going to be dealing with this. The payment provider on the Great Guitar giveaway, we're on our 5th or 6th iteration of it, and the 3rd iteration with this particular company is coming on stream. What's happened is that their techs, or at least the first level techs, are not capable of listening and hearing that we are going through there's 2 or 3 different accounts, because we have multiple businesses here, essentially. And they've conflated several accounts. So while the refunds were sent, they were sent from an account that then no longer existed, and there was all sorts of technical poopery, etc. We're working on it. Tom is working on it, Lisa, and I'll just ask him to send you some coupons, essentially. But yeah, we need to figure all of that out. Thin double pickup cutaway. There we go. Terry's Random Bits with some random knowledge. Thin double cutaway. TDC. Thank you very much. Anyway, it's a delicious guitar. Apparently they're about £4,000. This one is a 1967. And frankly, I would prefer this. Yeah, I would much prefer this over a 335, I think. Even though this one doesn't have the original tuners. The rest of it is just delicious. Sadly, it is not available. Also, sadly, Tom came and nabbed Josh, and I'm left on my own again. So there we go. Graham B says, so is Crimson going to go into production with its own guitars, or are you just doing custom work now? Part of the museum process and Great Guitar Giveaway and all of this jazz, it all started because I realized that I was kind of stuck up my own butt with regards to guitar design and processes and thoughts, and I needed to experience other people's guitars before I knew what direction I wanted to go from a production point of view. And we are 100% going to go into production at some point, but I really need to figure out what that will look like. I am so tempted to build a few proper replicas of some of the guitars in the museum. You know, 51, 52 Blackguard Telly done properly is right up my alley at the moment. There we go. Ape Song says, I have a 1967 Epiphone Granada from the same Gibson factory. Great guitar. I tried to buy a 70s one from that factory the other day, and the guy wouldn't sell it. But hey, maybe one day. There we go. Creever says, damn it, I'll be in the workshop and trying to join in with my phone. I really need to do some sharpening. Sharpening is its own reward, 100%. Thin double pickup cutaway. Phil Gerke says, I've fallen in love with binding my fretboards, not in love with cleaning up all the glue in the fret slots. Tips. Also, CA, so super glue versus wood glue. Thanks again. I use super glue for gluing the binding down, and I use medium or thick super glue so that it doesn't penetrate too deep into the slots. And the best thing to do is use a fret slot cleaning saw, which would be on that side. Well, I don't have half the tools here. I need to just gut my home workshop and bring it all over here. But I don't want to do that. I'd rather have two workshops. The devil and the angel on my shoulder. Another alternative is to very lightly, basically, for example, dip a scalpel blade into a lid of acetone and drop that into the fret slot where the glue is, and that will loosen the glue up just a little bit, and then you can use a scalpel blade to lift it up. But yeah, a little fret slot cleaning saw is what you want. I'm just standing here with a 60s Gibson and I don't know what to do with it. There's nowhere to put it. Okay. Angel Song, any suggestions for fretboard wood for red jasper inlays? Oof, it's entirely a personal choice there. I think ebony would look killer, but probably not particularly visible. But it's just one of those things. 2 workshops equals room for twice as many tools. Exactly, Paul. I'm genuinely thinking about, in the last live stream I showed off, somebody asked about small planes and I showed off some of the collection. I am genuinely thinking about auctioning off or liquidating most of the collection and putting it into the museum. I've already spent 20 grand on guitars for the museum and it hasn't even touched the sides. There's so much that we want. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And that way people get to play with more tools. So is what it is. Will Roberts says, I picked up a rasp when I was going for a file. What's the best glue for filling a wound on soft curly maple on my headstock? Ouch. Damn. Genuine, honest, it depends. How thick is it and where is the wound, really? If you have to fill it, then wood glue mixed with dust should do it. I personally would I would thin the headstock down a little bit more, or potentially put a veneer on it if it's in the wrong place. But yeah, it's a difficult one. I have to put this guitar down. I'm so paranoid about dropping her. Yeah, that'll do. And saying that, I came very close to dropping her. Damn. Here we go. Just for fun, this is the other Panormo. This is 1830, and obviously for the museum. The other one is 1828 and is actually a different size and a different shape. So yeah, and yeah, obviously needs tuning. Oh, scary noises. Anyway, absolutely beautiful little guitar. I'm very, very much in love, and yeah, not that much work to do. Oh, I love my life. Alrighty. Feed me questions, people, or we're just going to have to go home. Jared Patton says, Ben, I'm about to refret my acoustic. I was thinking of going with jumbos. Your thoughts? That is such a personal thing. I am... basically play as many guitars as you can and find what is the most comfortable for you. Jumbos are generally thought of as great for lead guitars and stuff like that, so it depends on what feel you're going for. It can't hurt, but well, yeah, I mean, my personal thought is small frets now. I personally prefer that feel. We put medium jumbos on almost every guitar we build, including acoustics when I've done them, so yeah, it can't hurt. It's up to you. Emphatically. That was absolutely no help whatsoever, was it? I suck. Alrighty. I don't have any questions. Graham B, has anybody used teak in their guitar build? Would you recommend it? Teak is fairly heavy. It's fun to work with. Used in boats a lot, and yeah, would work absolutely fine. There's some sticker residue on the side of the neck.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how to get it off. I'm worried about what to use, honestly.
Ultra super mega versatile polish.
Yeah?
I think so,
the
yeah.
green stuff?
I think so, yeah.
Alright.
Don't try anything, don't do anything other than that,
Okay.
basically. Okay, Sean Durkin, hey Ben, are cool beans still a thing in the Crimson site? I got an email for my birthday last month but couldn't find anything about it on the site when looking. Absolutely should be. I mean, we drink it here all the time. In fact, we've stopped opening up the bags, and we buy coffee in 10 kilogram bags. Yeah, that's bad, isn't it? Yeah, that's bad. But anyway, yes, they absolutely should be on the site. Let me have a quick look. Yep, that's it. Crowe's Coffee Beans, ground 250k. Apparently it's in the pre-order part of the website, which is a bit daft. No, all products, Crowe's Coffee Beans. And they didn't put an apostrophe Where are we? There you go. So, Crowe's Coffee Beans, there should be an apostrophe there. Shop now, pay later on coffee, eh? Damn it. But anyway, that's there. Crimson vouchers as prizes in the draws. This is from Paul Need. We are considering that. There's, great guitar giveaway. We're definitely going to be adding second and third place prizes as well. We really enjoy the live streams as much as anything else. So mentioning that, doing draws for vouchers to use on the giveaway site as much as anything else will also happen. But we don't want to push Crimson too much, at least initially. But there are going to be Crimson guitars. There will be prizes for tools, for example, for toolkits or vouchers and stuff. I don't want to throw everything that I can on the giveaway site because it starts to feel a bit cheap. It has a genuine reason to exist, and that is genuinely to help set up and create an absolutely epic museum. So I just put that down on the spiral bound back in a notebook, and it sounded scary. Yeah. Phil Wild. Hi Ben, can we get an update on build progress please? I'm looking forward to some non-teardown content, you and me both, and I am feeling really uptight about the lack of guitar builds going up. Although the GGBO build was serialized, we're never doing that again. We're never going to put out a super edit and then follow it with a build series. There's just no point. It just has not worked. Yes. There has been no build progress. I have spent a grand total of maybe 4 or 5 hours behind my bench since I got back after the new year, and it is driving me absolutely insane. I have got the Cowrie build neck that I desperately want to get on with, and I've got my GGBO, not my GGBO, my hand tool only build. I'm actually going to be bringing that guitar here so that I can do some of it while everything else is going around me. And I'm also about to insist that some of these meetings could be had at my workbench while I'm actually doing something physical, because as much as they are necessary, I do not want to be management. I would much rather just spend my entire day at the workbench. Josh, you caught me having a little weep earlier about that, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I can.
Total just whining.
Like, every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's just bad. But anyway, what can you do? So this week everything is coming back though. Dadrock 2.0 says, I love my SG Les Paul. Big thanks. I play it daily. I'm assuming the Dadrock 2.0 is the one that won the 3 pickup SG that we customized and aged, and I want to do that again. I really enjoy that process. So it's great fun. Big Unit Guitar says, I'm finding that when I plane 1-inch wide boards, I tend to plane the edges out of square. Number 6 plane, soul's good, blades sharp. Is it my technique? Tips? It's 100% your technique, I'm afraid. The way that your body moves when you're planing has... I'm going to hang this guitar up. Damn. Hold on. Back in a second. And position. The way your body moves when you're planing, you tend to have a rock, and you tend to take more off the front corner and the back corner as you go. And it just takes practice to not do that, essentially. A way that I found helped is I don't, on my larger planes, have the blade perfectly flat. I sharpen it with a little bit of a curve in it, and that allows me to be very precise with where I cut. And also it just feels better in exactly the same way that when you're cutting a fret slot, you want to do it on the radius. Cutting with a radiused plane, it's like a gouge going through the wood rather than a spade just hitting it. So yeah, there we go. Mike Lombardo says, will the kit guitars ever make a return? No, we will not be making kit guitars at Crimson Guitars again, not for the foreseeable future, at least. There is just, it's just not going to happen. I can't make kit guitars at a low enough quality level to make them sellable at a price that makes sense. I just don't want to do it, essentially, is the biggest issue. So, yeah, it is the way it goes. Okay, there's all sorts of emails coming through now that I'm on the phone, on here. Mark says, where do you get the round rests you put your guitar on when in the workshop? These are Bench Dog Tools Bench Cookie Plus. Apparently they're patented, which is interesting because I'm planning on making my own version. So maybe we should look into that. They're bright orange and far too visible. I want to make these out of wood. I don't think you can patent that. I think that their patent is probably that standy bit. And if you look at
colour them in with a Sharpie.
Yeah, Josh's ones over there, he's coloured permanent. They're just black, which is hilarious. Marshall Levine says, I have to keep saying it, delegate. Lol. I do delegate, and then it doesn't get done quite to the quality that I want to get things done to. And then you're embarrassed. So it's fine. It's just that there's been a hell of a lot with the new website. And genuinely, this is the issue with the new website, with Great Guitar Giveaway and all of that jazz. There's just been so much going on over the last month that my workshop time has been curtailed. The Great Guitar Giveaway website is now up and running 100% perfectly. The images are all loading perfectly fine, which is good. The payment software, the payment providers, if it's not 100%, they know exactly what they're doing, and it's in the process of being changed over to the final sort of iteration of that. It all seems to be running smoothly and well. So from that point of view, I'm not expecting to have to spend too much more time in meetings. All I want to do is build guitars and rip guitars apart and play with them. Josh, you're getting to do that a lot more than I am at the moment.
Yeah, I am. I'm living the dream.
Yeah. Well,
I'm living your dream.
yeah, you're living my dream. Get out of my building. It's all fun and games. Okay, Sweet Tea Guitars says it wouldn't be right for me not to send a super chat. Thanks, man. I do appreciate it. It's who I am. It's what I do. Peace and love. It's the only way. Rockler makes those bench cookies, as do many other companies. They're available on Instagram, or make your own with wood and neoprene. He says, I meant on Amazon, not Rockler. They're available on Instagram. Ha! I read that without even actually understanding what I was reading. Look at that. But yes, they're very cool things. Johnny Love, is it relatively easy to thicken a guitar neck? To thicken a guitar neck slightly with a finish? Just oil on at the moment. I'm not fussy with the feel of the neck. No Luthier experience. Cheers, Ben. I love your channel. Thanks, man. It's an absolute pleasure. I love doing it. To get a finish that would build up to a noticeable level, it has to be something like yacht varnish, or actually epoxy would probably do that. And no, I don't think it would be relatively easy. Yacht varnish, you paint on and you paint on, and you wait for it to dry after a day or two, then you paint on another layer, and you can build that up fairly thick. But to actually have a noticeable, say, make a guitar neck 1 millimeter thicker, no, it's not easy. It's not something I've ever even considered doing. Yeah. You win the internet today. That's the first time I've had that question. I have in the past considered gluing veneer around an existing neck in order to fix issues. Genuinely, that's my word of the day. Generally, when we go through, or when somebody in the school goes through from the front when they're routing the truss rod channel, that's when we think about that. So there we go. Mark Jennings, Mark. It says freebie super chat. This is from members on the channel. Apparently, get freebie super chats. Freebie super chat. Does your repair service run to refretting my own pitiful attempts at a build? They really do, emphatically. And you, as ever, get a friends and family discount, Mark. So, yeah, bring it on. I promise not to point and laugh too much at the guitar. You're you know, I'm not allowed to insult somebody's face on live TV, am I? He's actually, it's Mark. He's actually quite good looking. It's bloody annoying, really.
Well, you should definitely insult him.
Yeah, fine. Well, there we go. Just make up an insult, Mark, and just pretend it came from me, because you're also witty and clever. So, damn it. Sam Mastery says, I'm in the process of spalting some beech for fretboards. When I'm finished, would you like some? Yes. How are you spalting it? Because I've heard that some people wee on it. In which case, no thank you. It's true. I love a good bit of spalted wood, I really do. And I wouldn't say no. I never say no to free wood. Even if it's been weed on. Marshall Levine says, I've got a lot to tell you, Ben, so I expect to be able to sit and pen a letter this week. I hope you can make it time to sit down and read it. I expect to entertain a few moments for you to breathe. I'll look forward to it, Marshall, I really will. Johnny Love says, thanks, Ben. Even a very slight improvement with the varnish may be worth it. Yeah, with if it's currently got oil, strip it back. Put a little bit of shellac on first, because shellac, basically varnishes and oils don't go very well together. So roughly sand down or lightly sand down the back of the neck, paint on a coat of shellac or two, and then that'll be as a sealer between the oil and the varnish, and then put on some yacht varnish, or you could, yacht varnish would be the thickest building finish that you could hand apply with a brush, in my experience. It just does take quite some time to cure. The other thing is, it is, I personally have developed a bit of an issue with yacht varnish, and it gives me debilitating headaches very rapidly. So the other day my wife was varnishing, she's making a fence to keep the dogs up at the front of the yard, and she's obviously upcycling and reusing stuff, and she's using these bed slats, and she decided to use the crimson stains and then yacht varnish, and she did that on the dining room table, even though we've got a workshop. And yeah, I was flat on my back for a full day with a headache from that. So, moral of the story, do it outside or in a workshop, or have all of the windows open. Okay. Paul Cook says, Blue Sparkle hasn't gone home yet. No, that is sitting there. Actually, it's a very good point.
What?
I should take a sparkly guitar. It's not, that's not the ESP. Is that the ESP? No, it's the Schecter. Yeah, I really do need to experience that Schecter. These people, nothing gets past them. I just sped around the room like a fraction of a second. Yeah. Dude, would you mind passing me the Epiphone, actually? The Veil of Bees.
Oh, yeah.
So cool. Okay. Rob Tootle says, I just got a bonus on a question. I ordered a pair of, on a purchase. Thank you very much. I ordered a pair of sash clamps and 3 arrived in the post. What bonuses have you had on a purchase? Well, the last... I bought a Dan Electro a few weeks ago from some really shady looking dude who sold it to me, agreed to price, and then took the case back.
Oh,
So sort of a reverse bonus. Oh wait, he's right there on the other side of the thing.
I don't think a week has gone by.
Of course not. Of course not. It was a nice case. I wanted that. Oh, she's upside down. This is the Epiphone Veil of Bees. Adam Jones Art Collection by Mark Ryden, and this is up on the giveaway site right now. Tom is so excited about this. Yeah, he found it on Facebook Marketplace and fell in love and bought it, and yeah, it's doing quite well actually. But anyway, Big Unicatar says, I have the same migraine issue with perfumes and colognes. That sucks, because you can't tell people around you to not, make themselves smell nice. Phil Wild, has anybody had issues with Granger bridges? I've had finishes rubble from strange pinging sounds from the saddles when string bending. Bridges were fine on first installation. They have had an issue that has since been fixed, apparently, with the third-party company that they were using to do their chrome plating. They are nice people. Get in touch with them. Tell them the issue you've had. They do know it is an existing problem. I'm now going to have to hang this beautiful guitar up as well because, I do. And sorry, Josh, I will try to stop taking the piss.
It's fine.
It's very difficult for me to do.
It's fine.
He says it's fine. I'm not sure if you can hear. Okay. Paul Cook says, International Paint Yacht Varnish has a warning. Not for marine use. It made me chuckle. Me too. Sam Mastery says, don't worry, no wee-wee. Fantastic. Okay, so honest question, I got a bonus on a purchase, ordered a pair of sash clamps and 3 arrived. The only thing that immediately comes to mind is every now and then we'll buy something and they'll throw in a pack of sweets. Which is always quite fun. And obviously we're buying a lot of second-hand guitars right now. So for example, I bought a Les Paul that had it had both original pickups in it, but it also had a bare knuckle that had been installed. So yeah, I'm going to take the bare knuckle out and put the original Gibson pickup back in. And we'll have a bare knuckle pickup floating around to put in something custom or whatever. But yeah, generally with buying the second-hand and interesting guitars, every now and then it's, oh, that's a nice free strap that came with that. And that happens quite a lot. We've had some cool capos and bits and pieces and plectrums and stuff. So yeah, there we go. Okay. Will Roberts says, as I listen, I'm sanding, getting ready to cut the binding channel around the headstock for the first time. I'm nervous about messing the whole thing up. Take a small... Basically, with binding channels, as long as you take it slowly and carefully, you should be fine. It's a relatively small cut. Make sure that the bearing is securely onto the router, etc., and go slow and you should be fine. Josh, just before you desert us, would you mind weighing the epi for me?
Yeah. I'm going to guess it's a healthy 9.
I'm not so sure. It feels...
No?
I'm going to say, I'm going to guess 8 something.
11?
High 8s.
11.
Yeah, 8, 10, 8, 11, something like that. Let's see. It didn't feel too chunky to me. Okay. How difficult is it to remove a nut, and what glue should I use for the replacement? I have horrible feet buzz, and I'm working up the nerve to fix it. This is Vicky Johnson. It's actually not that bad. get a big flathead screwdriver or a or a square of wood, put that on the fretboard and just tap it gently, and it should delaminate the nut quite easily. I would okay, come on then. Am I completely wrong? Hold on.
£9.11.
9.11. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell I've been working out? It just felt like
Yeah.
it felt like nothing.
That's heavy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you were just distracted because you were talking. It does feel heavy.
I talk a lot. I distract myself a lot. Okay. Yeah. Let's. What was I talking about? Lisa Harshberg is doing job training during the stream. It's the same every year, and I don't actually need to listen. Typical. Go to 11 says, hi Ben, what can you say about the apparent world shortage of Velour ultrafine 3 square files? That might well be down to us. So sorry. Hashtag sorry not sorry. Is that still a thing? John Hutton, I've been banned from guitar raffles, having won more than I know what to do with. That Adam Jones epi is insane. I mean, fair point. I completely understand. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about routing. That's absolutely fine. Vicky's nut replacement. There we go. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, chum, 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 brain all over the place. Fret buzz is not necessarily down to the nut. I would suggest you look at the frets first. Fret rocker, see if they're rocking. Check out how straight the neck is and how much relief you've got, and all of that. The nut is almost, I mean, it's possibly part of the issue, but it's probably not the main issue in my experience. Interestingly enough, I did some work on the Paul Reed Smith S2 standard 24 thingy that's on giveaway at the moment, and the fretwork was absolutely perfect, but the nut was high and the relief was very, very chunky, making not buzz, just an uncomfortable guitar. So I've actually filmed that this morning. But yes, essentially taking a nut off is fairly simple and straightforward. Josh, have a good evening. Josh lives quite some distance away from the factory, so yeah, unfortunately he's got a large drive ahead of him. Just a spot of super glue down in the corner to glue the nuts back in place. Works absolutely fine. I have seen people use a small amount of shellac actually, which gently holds it in place, but is even easier and safer to take the nut out. Now, if the nut has been, if there's lacquer over the edges of the nut, then you want to take a scalpel blade and cut around the sides of it, so when you knock it out, you don't shatter the lacquer on either side. That is something else that you need to be aware of. There we go. Dr. Satan says, Ben. Dr. Satan says, Ben, are you coming to Guitar Summit in Germany, September 23? I haven't been invited, and I really need to sort out my passport. But that does, it's something that I've wanted to do for a while now, and yeah, really should. Yeah. Sorting my passport out is one of those massive jobs that really needs to be done, like tax returns, except there is no major deadline. It just makes me feel shit for years that I haven't done it yet. But we'll get there. Ooh, okay, Vicky Johnson says, cool, thanks Ben, the action is ridiculously low, and as far as I can tell, the guitar has no truss rod, it's an acoustic. Have a look inside. It probably has a truss rod that's almost invisible. Try and find a dental mirror or well, any sort of mirror actually, you should be able to look in there if it fits in and have a look. But yes, if the action is far too low, then yeah, taking the nut off and building that up is actually not a bad idea. So there we go. I apologise. Okay, Sam Maskery. I've got a crunch. I'm assuming he means crotch. I've got a crotch of older sat around looking for a use. What's your thoughts on it for a body or necks? After 12 years of watching it, I think I'm about to start my first build. Send me a photo of the wood and it should be fine. I wouldn't use crotch wood for a neck as a rule. You want good straight grain and strength and stability, whereas crotch is beautiful and tends to be all over the place. But yeah, and it's older. It would be perfect for bodies. Okay. Go to 11 says, can't be you guys, you've been sold out since Black Friday. I wondered if you knew any more about the supplier shortages. I know Ricky is on the case, however. I haven't heard any more. I thought that we were actually in stock of those. So I'm going to look into that. This is the thing, you guys seem to know more about what's happening with some parts of my business than I do. How are you, Sophia?
Good.
So there we go. Okay, well look, we're coming to the end. If you have any more questions, if you have any questions, we've got like 5 minutes or so, and let's go. Goth Rider Creation says, where is the best place to buy pots, caps, etc. in the UK? All I can find are US websites charging a fortune for postage, or UK sites that charge £10 each for a 250k pot. Thanks. Drop me an email, drop us an email, shop@crimsonguitars.com. We will sort you out. We're in the process of putting together proper vintage wiring looms as well, which will be quite expensive, but they're also going to be very, very nice. Big Unit Guitar says, I just had a really snug fitting nut on my GGBO build, so I didn't use any glue on the nut. Is that okay? Should I fix that? No, it's not. It's the main reason that I put glue on is so that, okay, it's basically when a customer takes the strings off and then plays around, you don't want the nut falling off. It's so weird. There's people looking through the window because I've got a window in the door there, and it's very off-putting because it's just behind the camera. But anyway. So yeah, if you're the customer, if you're keeping it, it's fine. If it's snug and it stays in there anyway, it's fine. The only issue is if you don't have a modicum of straight string pull, and if the strings are trying to pull the nut off one way or the other. I'm thinking, you know, super strap sort of things with banana headstocks, etc. Okay. Eugene Yosef, what do you think about replacing only one fret that is buzzing? That's a vintage Icon V6. I think that essentially the problem is not necessarily that fret, it's probably the fret next to it that is, or, okay, sorry, I'm talking to you like you don't know what's going on. Yes. I wouldn't replace that fret. I personally would level the whole board down. I would level all of the frets down to get rid of any buzz. I've never ever seen a case where replacing one or two frets is necessary, except with a sort of 40s or 50s guitar with no truss rod, where I was replacing the frets in with wider tangs in order to push the neck back. Other than that, I would, yeah, just a level crown and polish will sort that out. It might be, whatever you do, you're going to need to level crown and polish it. Whatever fret you replace it with will be either higher or shorter than the existing frets around it. Therefore, you'll need to do a level crown and polish in any case. So no, I wouldn't bother doing it. I would just hit it with a leveling beam and go through that process. Will Roberts just sent a cool super chat sticker, the thumbs up green guy. Is that a Pear giving a thumbs up. That's cool. Thank you very much, man. Zach Webb says, hi Ben, I wish I'd come to England for a 3-month course. It looks like an amazing opportunity. We would love to have you. We've just got a new bunch of 3-month students who started up last week, and it's all getting exciting. We've had 3 or 4 students start today as well. I haven't met them yet. I've been in the office most of the day. Super sad. But yeah, everything is coming together. Beavis Christ, that's a thing? You can force a neck to back bow by refretting with wider tang wire. Wild. Yes, it's an old repair that works really well if needed, if there's no truss rod. Yeah, it's not new, it's not to me, it's not... Goodbye, Sophia, have a good evening. Johnny Love, loving the live streams, looking forward to watching the past ones I've missed. There's a hell of a lot of talking. This is episode 104. So, yeah, it's about 150 hours of me losing my voice. So, yeah, I am going to, on that positive note, say goodbye, good evening. And, yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. I will be back. And next time I will be prepared. I'll actually have the water I need to drink, and everything will be sorted and smooth, and I'll be on time as well. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Have a great week. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.